I'm about as real as they come.
All my beats tailored by Joe. House Digital.
Maserati Rick in Detroit, convertible bird in Miami. Graduated summa cum laude, strip club made a tsunami. Carlton Hines with the ball game, Grateful Edmonds with the snowflakes, Craig Pettis in the M-Town, Sal Magluta with the boat game, Falcone with the cocaine, like Freeway Ricky with the plug game, like Monster Cody in South Central, Larry Davis from close range.
Columbus police are trying to figure out who killed two women in the Hilltop. Police found their bodies inside a home on Whitethorn Avenue yesterday. The victims have been identified as 56-year-old Sydney Campbell and 31-year-old Maria Stamp. Officers are investigating this case as a homicide, and this is the same home where police say they found the body of Cody Campbell dead 11 days ago. NBC4's Ted Hart is live in Columbus with the latest on this. Ted?
LA police say that this started with a suspicious death on February 13th. Then it was followed yesterday at 1:30 in the afternoon by an attempted abduction out here on the street in front of the house. And then 2.5 hours later, a double homicide in... When detectives arrived here the morning before Valentine's Day, it was not immediately apparent to them how Cody Campbell had died. They still call it suspicious. But this 911 call suggests possible foul play.
This old lady is hollering, saying, help, call 911, that some man is in the house dead, they done beat him or something.
But then yesterday, police say these two men, Antoine Hutchinson and Michael Favors, pulled up in front of the house in a white SUV, and Hutchinson used a gun to try to kidnap another man. The victim got away, and police have him in safekeeping. But police are very concerned by the nature of the crime.
You're doing this in the middle of the day, anyone can see this happening. So it's pretty bold to us, and I don't think he was worried. So we believe he is very dangerous, and so we need to get him off the street.
A couple of hours after the attempted kidnapping yesterday, police were back here to find Cody Campbell's mother, Sydney Campbell, and another woman, Marie Stamp, dead inside the home, shot to death. And police say it's possible that all these incidents are drug-related, that all of them are connected, but they're not sure yet. Anyone with information that might help police locate Antoine Hutchinson or Michael Favors is asked to contact the Columbus Police Department. Live on Whitethorn Avenue in the Hilltop, Ted Hart.
Now to our top story tonight. Drugs, intimidation, a gruesome beating, and cold-blooded murder, all part of a new death penalty indictment against two Columbus men. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ellie Merritt.
And I'm Mark Taylor. Those suspects accused of killing witnesses to prevent them from going to police about a Columbus drug ring. NBC4's Harrison Hove joining us live. And Harrison, all these crimes happened at the same Hilltop home.
It did. We covered these stories back in February, all happening on Whitethorn Avenue. That's in the Hilltop neighborhood, of course. Now, these two men here that are going to show up on screen, this is Michael James Favors and Antoine Hutchinson. They could ultimately face the death penalty in that case, being indicted for murdering two witnesses.
It's alleged that they beat and intimidated people who worked for the organization to make sure they didn't steal and to prevent them from cooperating with law enforcement.
These two men, Antoine Hutchinson and Michael James Favors, accused of running drugs across the Buckeye State. Court documents show they used fear, intimidation, and violence to keep people who worked for them in line, which is ultimately what left multiple people dead, according to the indictment. Court documents reveal the two men beat Cody Campbell with a 2x4, afraid he was working with police. The pair locked his mother in a room during that beating. Days later, Campbell died.
I think the law takes very seriously the prospect of tampering with witnesses by the use of force and indeed killing them because you can see that reflected in the statutory penalties.
The two then stand accused of trying to cover their tracks. Investigators say on February 23rd, they returned to Whitethorn Avenue to silence two more witnesses, including Cody Campbell's mother, Sydney, who investigators say was locked in that bedroom while her son was beaten just days earlier. Campbell and Marie Stamp both shot and killed.
You actually kill a witness to prevent that person from cooperating. That's a mandatory minimum of life in prison up to death.
There are other witnesses in this case, all being protected closely to ensure their safety.
Those are valid concerns in this case, and we have taken steps to, for example, relocate some witnesses. So that's something that we're very sensitive to in this case.
Now, the U.S. District Attorney tells me that ultimately U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions will make the decision as to whether or not to seek the death penalty in this case. Reporting live in the studio tonight, Harrison Hove, NBC4.
Harrison, thank you.
Yo, we back. It's your boy Popalot. Mobb ties. We on our way to Ohio with it. Columbus, the hilltop section. But I'm going to need the whole Ohio to check in. I'm talking about Cleveland, Cincinnati, Dayton, Youngstown, Toledo, Akron, everybody. Y'all know how we rocking. Now, today, we are going to be covering a very sinister tale or a scary movie in the form of two gentlemen by the name of Michael Favors and Antoine Hutchinson. Now, the two gentlemen were federally indicted in April of 2017. Now, according to the indictment, they're going to say that Favors and Hutchinson possessed and distributed cocaine, heroin, oxycodone, and marijuana. Now, as part of that drug conspiracy, they're going to say they used trap houses that were set up in other people's names as locations to store and to sell those drugs. And as further part of that conspiracy, they would intimidate, assault, threaten, and torture individuals with seriously bodily harm. Now, in 2018, Favors would go on to plead guilty for his role in the murders of Sydney Campbell as well as Marie Stamp. Specifically, Favors pleaded guilty to 5 counts as charged against him in an indictment which included conspiracy to distribute and possess with the intent to distribute controlled substances, 2 counts of conspiracy to murder a witness, and 2 counts of murder through the use of a firearm in retaliation to a drug trafficking crime. Now, they're going to say Favors accompanied Hutchinson in February of 2017 to Sydney Campbell's home after Hutchinson learned of Sydney Campbell's son's death. Now, that's where this should just take a turn for the wild. So 11 days before that murder, they would go on to assault Cody Campbell with a 2x4 under the suspicion that he was allowing rivals and associate drug addicts to rob these trap houses that these guys had set up. Now, after beating him, Cody Campbell would die from those injuries. And as a fear that the woman would turn these 2 guys in their drug operation, they would go on to murder Cody Campbell as well as Sydney Campbell and Marie Stamp. Now, just covering this story kind of blew my mind. We all know that the CO is wide open, but just was not sure about the Hilltop area. So anybody familiar or that breeze through Hilltop, y'all let us know. It sound real wicked over there, if you know what I mean, but it's the game. Y'all already know what it is. Y'all make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, Twitter. It's your boy Popalot, POP_A_LOT. We gonna be back with some more real trill spill shit. Y'all make sure y'all get in the comment box below to let me know what city we need to go to, what state we haven't been to, what gangster we ain't cover. Y'all hit the bell to subscribe. Y'all get at me under the pictures on Instagram. Y'all tweet me on Twitter, direct message me, however y'all want to handle it. And we're going to be back with some more real trill spill shit. It's the Mobb. Mobb ties.